Oh, that's the sound we like to start. The downside with welcome to the downside. I'm here with my co-host Russell Daniels. Russell, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Why?
I'm fine. Well, I was getting my notepad to tell you why I was. Oh my God, I have a bag of carrots in my. I always put
loose
food.
Carrots?
No, it's baby carrots. I always put them in a bag, and I'm like, I'll eat them tonight in between sets. Why are you giving me a look? It's baby carrots.
It's too big of a bag to take with you.
And nobody, that's what you like to eat?
He went orange for a bit. He was eating too many carrots. His hands were orange.
So when I was a baby, apparently, babies are very susceptible to whatever is the orange ingredient in carrots. And my mom fed me a lot of carrots, and so the babies can turn a little bit orange.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me.
No, I was talking about when I've known you. Like 5 years ago, you were eating so many carrots, your hands were orange.
I used to eat a bag of these a day.
So you you eat them plain?
Yeah. I like to nibble. It's more about the nibbling.
Yeah,
I've always been a
that's
nibbler.
really
I was a pen biter. I used to be a shirt sucker.
I remember when baby carrots came out.
When did they come out? I
At
didn't know it was
some
that
point.
recent.
Yeah, they didn't used to exist.
I feel like we didn't. I mean, maybe we were so poor. My mother, you wanted a baby carrot. We had a massive carrot that she would cut up in still two big pieces, and it never was appetizing. And then this came out with a little bit of ranch. People started doing.
Yeah.
And that's when I started getting turned on. I said, "Okay, you're throwing in some ranch. We're making a situation here. Now this is something I can get behind. So
I'll do it with peanut butter. But I just like...
You'll do carrots and peanut butter?
Weird.
What the fuck? What's wrong with that?
You can do celery and peanut butter. Carrots and peanut butter is weird.
I don't think it's weird at all. Wait, what
Gianmarco,
about...
You can't do carrots and peanut butter.
What's that dish? Is
Disgusting.
that's celery with the ants on a log?
Yeah, that's celery.
That's celery. But you can do it with peanut butter. Listen,
I don't do fuck all with peanut butter.
I made a whole notepad with all my notes for today.
Peanut
and I
butter's for
fucking
kids.
lost it. What the fuck? No, but it's not. Russell, you talk for a second.
Okay,
What am I talking about?
Your bathroom, and not to get into it. Not to get into it. It's really to get into that flusher. You gotta really. First of all, Russell, good luck to you. My hand is as small as they come. It's as small as they come. You gotta squeeze in there because I was always the kid that I could get into stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's something stuck. My mother would call me
I was
behind
not
the
that
fridge.
kid. I'm not
So
that
that's
kid.
me. And I felt I was brought back. I'm like, I'm to flush. Like, we need a lever. First of all, everybody who went to the button, not to make like a Seinfeld bit off the top, but it's so like, why? Who went with the button? I don't want to touch. I want to kick a lever with my fucking foot.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not trying to get.
It's invasive.
I think
new
the best
COVID.
airplanes sometimes they have like the pedal. You don't even have to kick. You just put a pedal down by the thing.
No, I'm saying, let's bring that back.
Sure.
Yeah.
What are we going back to? Button is so. I gotta get in your toilet now.
Yeah.
And I have to choose the water with the button. I'm
I
always
like that.
doing two.
Yeah.
I do both.
You do both.
I do both.
I do both too.
No
'cause
matter
I don't know
what.
which is
I don't
which.
need problems.
I
I'm
don't-
not
I don't
learning
wanna-
your
one with
toilet.
one water
I don't
is for
want
the
to have
pee.
to
No,
learn
I'm not
about
learning.
No. I don't want to have to learn or look. I'm pushing both. Always.
Any kind of feeling that can make me feel like I'm doing good in the world.
Never.
No,
If
you're
I go-
not
Giving
doing
that up.
anything. You're not doing anything.
You're doing zero.
Yes, you
I
are.
have to
You're
tell
fingering
you.
a toilet for no reason. It's no.
If it's yellow, do you let it mellow at your home?
No,
No.
I flush it.
I flush. I live my life. I enjoy. I do not recycle. I don't do anything anymore. If companies aren't doing it, you better believe I'm not doing it. If you want a top-down approach, fucking lead. You want top-down, trickle-down? I'll wait. Give me something to trickle down. But so far, you're giving me hoarding. And that's where I'm going. I'm not recycling. I'm not separating. They showed me one video of the recycling truck going to the dump.
Oh yeah.
Same with I said, okay, you got me. Fool me once. You show
My-
me who you are. I never forget.
My landlord is like, we have so many, diagrams in our recycling room for and he is a shamer. One time I didn't break down the box of Diet Cokes properly. He took a photo, posted it publicly. It's still there saying this is not a broken down box.
That's defamation.
This is this, and then the photo of him doing it properly.
A photo of him. Like he did a photo shoot? He said, make sure you get the action motion.
He broke it down better and then posted that photo too, being like, this is how you have to do it. So it's like, it's a whole wall of instructions for trash.
If you're drinking a can of Diet Coke and you're with someone, do you wait to put it in a recycling thing out of shame?
I'll put it on the street. I do not. When I go up to order something and I picked it up and I get my own water, I press 0 print. I don't tip a cent. I want 15% back. If I do the work, I've come to you. Nothing has happened. You think I'm clicking 22%? No, your boss ought to pay you. The rent's got to be lower. The oligopoly on the rental market needs to stop so they can afford the rent, so they can afford to pay their employees properly. You will not levy this on me. I've hired nobody today.
This is the downside.
1, 2, 3. Downside. You're listening to The Downside.
The Downside.
With Gianmarco Soresi.
Well, Robby, thank you for sharing your environmental philosophy with us.
The breaking down the boxes is also something like I pay for garbage. I live in LA now. We pay for garbage.
What does that mean, you pay for garbage?
I think it's $50 a month, $54 a month.
Really?
You pay for sewage and garbage. This is what's on the bill, okay? They got to break down the boxes for $54 a month.
Yeah.
You do that, okay?
Yeah.
Pay them. They're getting enough money. If they're getting $54 for me, you better believe they have enough money to pay these guys extra to break down the boxes. But they're hoarding the money, and then they shame us.
Yeah.
And take pictures and put them on the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I don't know why my landlord, it's a strange thing. I don't think he's getting in trouble with the sanitation people. I think he just is like a stickler. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited to have you. I want to complain about one thing, and then we can go deep. I did a casino gig this weekend.
Happens.
I know, it's rough. Roar.
Where?
Roar. It's Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh.
It was a casino gig. It was in a big castle, huge ceilings. That's what you like for comedy.
Love that.
Somewhere for all the laughs to go
Echoey.
to, way up there. I wish echoey just to bounce off a couple of these. I had some kind of heckler thing. She got mad about a gun joke. I had a joke about Smith & Wesson. One of the punchlines involves a Smith & Wesson, which is a brand of gun. Turns out Springfield, Massachusetts is where Smith & Wesson started, and everyone's family member worked at Smith & Wesson. They've been dependent on it for their entire lives. One woman got mad. She left. And on stage, I started getting a paranoia. I said, she's going to her gun. She's going to go get a gun. She's going to shoot me.
Oh my God.
And it seized me on stage. And I'm performing stand up over here, and in my head I'm having an anxiety attack. And I'm like trying to talk myself down, but the lights are bright. I can't see anything. I keep looking at the door.
Did she say
Why
anything
didn't you
before
just
she
say
left?
that out loud?
I kind of did. And the security guard, from the back of the room, he's sitting, and he kind of waves like this. Don't worry, I got it. And I'm like, this guy, he's not making it to the door in time.
Yeah.
She could shoot through the glass.
Did she say anything when she left? Like she made it known that she's leaving?
Yeah, we had a little she made fun of my ass. She said I had no ass. And I said you're gonna have to do better than that. I talk about that's my next bit that I was about to go into.
Who cares if a guy doesn't have an ass?
I want to have an ass really bad.
What are you, gay? No, come on. Okay. This girl, first of all, who cares if your whole family, my whole family could die in the Holocaust and you can make fun of it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't understand, what you think you're immune to hearing a joke about something you like?
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like non-binary people, fine, whatever. Can't take, we're the last community to be able to laugh? Since when can't you make fun of people?
Yeah.
It's obscene. This lady and the guns, that's really a stretch.
But have you ever been, I just got that. So after the show, the security guard, I didn't get shot. And I went to the security guard and he was like, oh man, you made me do my job tonight. And I was a little angry. There's just a degree where I was like, yeah, buddy, that's the job. I'm sorry that you have to do this job.
Yeah.
But I'm on stage. When you're on stage, you're just, listen, it's not brave to be on stage, but the lights are in your face. You don't know what's going on. You want to feel like you have one person on the lookout.
Yeah.
Gianmarco, you can have it both ways. he made a joke and you did not take the joke.
No, but he didn't say it like a
Okay,
joke.
you heard that. You made me do my job.
He didn't say
You made me do my job tonight. You know what I mean?
No, but this
and
is
then
the
he
guy
got
who-
mad. And then he got mad.
This is
Yeah.
not a guy who's done his job.
Yeah.
He literally, it was when I was on stage. It was
No,
when he
we
was
have-
seated. When he was seated and I said on stage, I'm worried that woman's going to shoot me. And someone in the audience was like, don't worry, we got your back. And again, I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You're just saying that.
Yeah.
You're not taking a bullet from me. I didn't do that well tonight.
Yeah. So, but I'm confused. So she didn't come back.
No, she didn't come back, thank God.
She just left.
She just left.
How long were you spiraling for then?
I had like a 5-minute on stage where I've had it happen a couple times where I feel like an audience member's mad at me. They've left. And in my head, I'm like, they're
Have
getting
they
the gun.
ever come back? Has there any
And
ever
shot me? No. That has yet to happen.
But
No,
yeah.
once in a while they come back.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. There's just sometimes you're in a place. This wasn't the South, but there's sometimes you're in a place where there's guns, and I just have a paranoia.
Yeah.
And I like to push it, and then I get scared on stage. I have anxiety.
Okay, what are you? What do I say to something like that? You have anxiety.
Do you
Who
have you ever been
doesn't?
worried that someone's going to attack you on stage though?
I'm only worried
You're only worried.
from the second I wake up. All I feel is worry.
Sure.
I'm very comfortable being worried. I got used to it.
Maybe I'll get there someday.
Yeah, just you know what it is. Get comfortable in the fear, comfortable in the worry, and then it's fine.
If I was
Anything could happen at any time, and that's that.
if I was a political figure, I'd be scared of getting shot all the time.
Oh yeah.
If I started getting death threats,
yeah, and they do.
It's surprising they don't get shot.
a shock
It is.
Do you know what I mean?
Shocking.
Like it. No. Like
With
yeah.
the amount
like,
of guns that we
yeah.
have, Pete Buttigieg just on the street.
Yeah.
What? I saw him walking the other day. No, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
It's like maybe we don't have enough guns. It makes me think like, what's the conspiracy here?
Well, who'd that guy?
There
Wasn't
was
it?
3 guns in the 50s and John F. Kennedy was killed.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Sure.
if that's 50s, 60s. I don't know when he
63. Yeah.
but 3 guns back then, something.
Yeah.
And 1 got him.
Yeah.
Now we have about a million public officials, more than ever before. And I feel like the government in 63 was 10 people.
Yeah.
You had
When I
like,
performed when I sang for George Bush Jr.
You sang for George.
I was in a
Bush?
Christmas choir in high school, and we sang for like the White House.
I love that.
And George Bush came up to like shake people's hands at the end, and you saw the snipers in the balconies. And I know that each person
yeah.
he shook their hand, it's like right on them, just
my
in case.
God.
It's very scary.
It's awesome. I did as many people know listening, I walked in New York Fashion Week
Really?
this past September. You know, I was dressed head to toe in Oscar de la Renta. It happens. It happens. Okay?
Sure.
I've got a great figure. A lot of people don't know this about me. I keep it covered, but I do okay. No, it was a comedy show / fashion show with Susan Alexander they rented the Comedy Cellar, and they did a big event, and the Real dressed us, and she showed off her accessories and everything that she had in the fashion show. So her models were comedians. Not just any comedians who could cut it. Okay, Gianmarco with your flat ass. Okay. And this what's his name? Not Hoffman, but we got M. Hoff. Okay,
Hoff.
so Kamala Harris's husband.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the
Okay.
first Jew we
Doug,
got into the White
right?
House. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Where like the Jews are, and of course we would have the first Jewish person in the White House would be the first husband. Like this would be us. It's like the most, okay, well, we got in. What do you want?
Yeah.
We have the first lady, the boy. That's us. And that's us.
Yeah.
And then he's got 2 kids. One of the kids, Elle Emhoff, was there. Fancy. She's a model
She's
now.
a model. They were making fun of her.
I've not seen her.
because people say
Listen,
it's
was she a
just-
model before Kamala was selected? She was not. Okay? Kamala gets I say she's a Nepo model. I'm not saying nothing.
Nepo
I don't
model.
care. Okay? But she seemed lovely enough, but she had secret service.
Oh.
Sure.
And it was funny because we went to you don't think I got into the after party after? I actually wasn't on the list, and then a million people knew me there. And I'm like, Robby, come in. I'm like, I don't think I'm on the official list. I didn't sign something. I got in, and we're now in the circle. She knows friends of friends. I'm in a mutual circle with Emma. The whole time, I'm looking at the Secret Service guys who are dressed in like party outfits. One guy's got like, you know that short sleeve button down with the flames on it. He's wearing that to try and
So
blend
like
in.
undercover.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so funny.
there's two of them, but they're massive. They're built like fridges, so
Yeah.
they're undercover. We're all tiny. Okay, ostensibly most of the people here are models.
Sure.
Okay, and then you got two massive, and that wasn't it. So they were the ones kind of around the party, and you could see they had like that curly wire behind their ear.
Yeah.
But I tried to make talk with them. I'm like,
Yeah.
Secret Service, and you could see Ella, Emma Hoffman, or they were like slowly distancing from me. But I was they will not talk to you. Or they kind of will, but they're like on the fucking lookout. Then they have two others posted, at least that I saw, that they make communication with over the party. Like some was on like, there was like a balcony one was on, and he was dressed more formally. The ones on the ground in the party pit had to wear, and the other ones were posted, and they all had a communication going.
What's the point of the disguise if you're not gonna then be able to talk and like have?
He may just not have liked me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He was just lying about the Secret Service.
Yeah. No.
He's like, I'm on duty right now. Actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Can't talk to
and
you.
also it's like I'm outing him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, everybody's being cool but me. Everybody's
yeah,
like, oh, tell him off. Shove it. I can't be cool. I'm like,
No.
when's the next time I'm going to see Secret Service?
No,
I don't know.
it's
I got to
exciting.
get in
Yeah.
what I can now so I can have myself an experience. I don't care about them.
Sure.
Yeah.
For me, I got to talk to Secret. That's what I want to do.
I'd rather have a Secret Service on the podcast than a model.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, same.
my God.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's only comedians would get in trouble. That's why you can't have comedians at fashion show anymore because we're all. Listen, we're like,
They shouldn't have
forget-
comedians at anything. Really.
Yeah.
I'm doing some like TV press thing in San Diego, and my only thought is like, how do I like tell like a really inappropriate joke on this TV thing? Having a comedian anywhere is
What-
a bad idea.
Yeah.
I just to do something fun.
Yeah.
Not- they think I'm gonna go there and sit there. Hi, how are you?
You
Never
might.
have a comedian anywhere.
Well, what is the thing? They obviously want you to be you.
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean. But maybe they didn't do any research. They just want me to go there and promote the shows that night.
What show? Oh, the shows that you're on.
Yeah, and I was like, like what like Sam Morril will do. Sam Morril.
Believe me, they want you to say something inappropriate.
Yeah.
But if you didn't, that would be crazy. If you were like, hi, they're like, we got you. We got nothing doing on this show.
That's the reverse. That's how
Yeah.
I'll be subversive these days. I'll
Yeah.
just do
Just
my
do
job.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell, you texted me. I want to talk about someone on one of your.
Oh, yeah.
So Russell's in an off-Broadway show called Titanic right
Oh
now.
my God.
Yeah, and it's going well. But so we did this interview for a magazine, and
Which magazine?
Them magazine, and
I'm looking to be on the cover of that one at
so
some point.
so it was a interview with me and one of the other actors, Rose, the drag queen, and this person. So they posted on Instagram, and this person posts this thing, and
Well, tell people who you play in the show.
Okay, so I play. It's a parody of Titanic, the movie,
I really
featuring
wanna see it.
all Celine Dion music. I play Ruth, who is the mom of Rose.
That's
the Kate Winslet character.
amazing.
So it's like very much written for a man to play a
Beautiful.
drag performance thing.
course.
Do you consider it a drag performance? Okay.
Yeah, it's a yeah. I'm playing a woman.
Sure.
But I don't think. Well, I'll get it. So I'll read the thing and then I'll say what I think. I think I have to find it because I sent it to.
So what are you wearing in this? You're wearing.
I'm wearing pants, blouse, pearls, and then like a head thing, like a couple birds.
Amazing.
So this person, they comment on the thing, and they say Broadway loves a man in a dress trope. Roll eye, roll eye, roll eye, roll eyes. And the thing is, like, first of all, I'm not wearing a dress. Second of all, I don't feel like I'm doing the thing of like being like, hey, look at how funny this is. Like, look, I'm being a woman. Isn't that silly? Like, I feel like I'm playing like it's a woman. Like I feel like I'm not.
Character.
Yeah. And so it's just this annoying thing where I feel like it's a really easy thing to say that, and like, but
We live in a gotcha. Here's the whole thing. There's no nuance. There's nothing.
No.
Okay. Are you being a high crime? Die. Like, no,
Yeah.
you're honoring, you're doing the right, you know what I mean? It's like everything is its own circumstance.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to go, if you do this thing, this is wrong. It's like things are complicated. Sometimes it's just look at intent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we look at it for murder. Did this person mean to kill somebody? No, so they're fine. If you meant to kill somebody, you're dead. We don't look at it for anyone. We don't get intention anywhere else. Are you playing an amazing character? Did Nathan Lane do something amazing? Yes. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. On behalf of who? Did a woman write you this or a man?
Both. The 3 people wrote the show, and 2.
No. I'm
the
saying
comment.
who the comment.
I don't know their pronouns, but it's.
It's so
It seemingly a man.
yeah, and you can't. That's even worse. Okay, but you can't. People expect to be included in everything. People expect that they can't be mad about stuff. It's like an Uber. We can't even have a slightly uncomfortable experience anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, people, you get into an Uber, it stinks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna report him. Just you had a stink ride.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
But I think there's this thing. This is people were. I mean, when Tootsie was on Broadway, Tootsie the musical, there was kind of this complaint or this reevaluation of like. I think there's a long trope of a man, straight man in dress, funny, and everyone goes and laughs, and there's
but with some of those shows, it's what the premise, the thing is, like in Tootsie or in I think the current version of like Some Like It Hot. The thing is they're dressing up as women to disguise themselves, and then they have jokes in there that are like. Isn't this funny that there have to be dressed? That's different than I'm playing the whole show. I'm playing a woman.
It's the idea that you're like mocking it, that you're mocking a straight man who would be put on a dress, or someone who was born a man putting like that's the idea is that you're, and I'm like that's not true.
And it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Being trans and cross-dressing, being trans and playing a character of a woman when you got the role because you got the role, and it adds. It adds an element to the role. It's different. These are all different things, and if you can't look at them different, then you can't have the conversation.
And also the breaking down, the having someone do that, shaking these things up is, I think, ultimately a good thing. Whether it's someone putting on a dress in a show or something else, we're all just like, you enjoy playing this character.
By the way, there's no right, there's no wrong.
Of course.
Here's the thing: everybody is right. Whenever I hear from one argument, I go, you know what? They're 100% right, and then I hear from the other side, I go. You know what? They're 100% right. So everybody,
Yes.
Some people are going to like it. Some people are not going to like it.
Yeah.
Period. That's absolutely everything. I don't care about it. This moron cares about it. To me. So I don't agree with them, but I'm also fine with that.
Yeah.
My biggest theater, like my early theater in 3rd grade in French class, we did Stregonona. Do you know Stregonona?
No.
It's a famous kids book. And I played, it's like Stregonona will only teach the secret soup recipe to women.
Sounds like a famous Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know this? I'm like, no.
And so my character, Anthony, goes, I want to learn how to make the
Anthony.
soup. She says only to women. So I put on a dress. And in 3rd grade, this crushed.
Yeah.
Of
And there's a degree
Yeah.
where it's like, I don't think people saw me put on that dress and that's where their homophobia arose. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
And for anything, for me, putting on that dress, even if I don't wear a dress, I got to express
fun.
myself.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I get to explore a feminine side that in many ways the binary world doesn't let me explore in other avenues.
I think everybody should try and address. Well, this should have been telling to my family, but every Purim, which is a Jewish holiday where we dress up, I would go as a man. Because I could wear my brother's suit, and I loved it. I put mascara on my face as a beard. Fine. But it's like, who cares? And it's fun. And dressing up is still really fun.
Yeah.
And if you dress in a way that you don't typically dress every day, it's fun to have that experience. Sometimes put on a kaftan. Whatever it is.
A moo-moo.
Yeah, I don't understand. We've gotten so crazy because there are people who are hateful about it, but it doesn't mean everybody is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to just know that as a grown-up.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think like a child anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you can tell if somebody is making fun of a woman, and you can tell when somebody is having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making fun of and having fun, to me, that's that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't.
And I don't think it's meant to, but sometimes because it feels like the thing of like my definition has to become small, or like, no, you're identify as he, him, you're a man, you have to be that way always. Like you're not like allowed to experiment with that kind of thing. And so it feels like, then it feels more not experiment, but you know what I'm saying? It feels like explore things. It feels like
just
limit.
And you can experiment.
Yeah.
You don't even have, you can experiment.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it just feels like,
And you didn't take this role from, it's, well, let me just say, that's this French show that I did. So it did so well at the middle school assembly that they said, you know what?
Back to this.
We got to bring this to the upper middle school assembly. So they brought this play that we had performed for kindergarten.
They're gonna take it to middle schoolers, and you're in 3rd grade.
So I performed it for the kindergarten to 4th grade. Killed, murdered. I feel like I'm a star. They go, we're transferring this. We're transferring this to the 5th through 8th grade. We put on this show for 5th and 8th graders. Now I'm younger than everyone I'm performing for. And it bombed so fucking hard. It was like an early memory where I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
They all laughed, and now no one's laughing. And I swear I'm doing the same thing.
Well, because they understood you were making fun of women at that age. And so it's not funny.
Oh,
it's not
God.
funny.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, when we talked to Dusty Ray Bottoms about the straight person who did RuPaul's Drag Race, and it was like a big kerfuffle, and it was like you're taking up with this space, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't think straight people are taking over Drag Race anytime soon. Let this guy go.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
We're all take up whatever the whole take up space thing. It's like we're here for about a minute.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll clear the space
your
soon.
life.
We'll be 6 feet under soon, and you can have the space back.
Get your life.
Yeah.
You know, I went backstage, SNL with some friends, and my friend, Marcelo, shout out, fucking killing. And I said, I'm sitting in the room, in the dressing room. He goes, you want to see this? I go, yeah, you better believe it. By the end of the night, I'm poking in here. I'm like, is that Scarlett Johansson? I'm getting my fill. If I'm never invited back, fine. I got my experience. I took up what I need to take up.
Yeah.
Everybody take up. It doesn't mean that you should take up less. Like I don't know that space is even finite in that way. Like a not theological, like a metaphorical space. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to me that we're like, that there's like now a level on it. Which I understand why. I understand both, but I also think it could not exist and it does exist. Not to get too philosophical, but it's just, guys, we're here till what? Men 78, women 83 on average?
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Well, that space argument, I think, comes with casting. And there's a degree where it's like, it's not like they were going to give it to you if they didn't give it to Russell.
Right.
There's a degree of like, they picked you to do the thing that they wanted to put on.
Right.
Well, it's like I got into a big festival, Just for Laughs, a big deal in Montreal. You talked about your play. I'm going to talk about this, okay?
Yeah.
Your 3rd grade play, whatever it was, where you were fucking
Stregonona.
transphobic. Okay. I have to hear transphobia at 10 in the morning. Anyway. I get into the festival, and it was the year that the head of the festival raped a bunch of people. Something happened.
Oh, yes.
I don't think it all happened in that year, but
no,
that's when
over many years he did. But it
This
comes
is one
out.
crazy year where the head of JFL.
Yeah, so he's a pervert. Something happens,
Yeah.
okay? People, some other female comics and whatever, I hate even saying that, but they denounced their spots. They're not going to do the festival. I go, what? And so a dude is going to take a spot? I didn't rape no one.
Yeah.
I raped zero people. The dude and maybe some other dudes raped some people. I can tell you for sure who didn't rape. Really any of the female comics, okay? With at least rapey on the thing, okay? And now I'm going to give up my spot as a queer girl for some... No.
Yeah.
No. Why would I lose money? I should be the one working.
Yeah.
They should take his money and split it up. Give us extra tip.
Yeah.
Something like, I don't even understand the concept of taking myself. It's kind of like what you're saying. Are they going to give that spot to another girl now? Are they going to just fill it with there's more guys in this thing still.
Sure,
So
yeah.
they're just going to get another
I
guy.
could have gotten in that year if you had dropped
You
out.
could have gotten in. But like, I was like the last, I was like, so then you're going to totally, like, if there's no, then people go to the shows and there aren't, like, let me take up space.
Yeah.
I didn't rape anyone. Like, why am I being punished?
Yeah.
Why is it on women to step back? Okay, if dudes who are also rapists feel some guilt about that, go, you know what? I raped a couple of years ago. I'm going to step this one out. Fine. But why did you put it on the innocent women? I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whole backwards. I'm like, just give more women who didn't rape. And then if a couple guys have a guilty conscience about it and want to step down, fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go there, make jokes about the guy. You know,
It
Go
was
for
so weird. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going. You better believe.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell my family?
Yeah.
Some guy who I assume is a pervert anyway. When somebody tells me somebody was a pervert, I go, yeah. I'm figuring a lot of them are.
Pervert until proven innocent, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing a lot about guys. I'm assuming that this is a bit of a stereotype for the male population. You know, I walk with caution. Why do you think I
That's how I feel
opted out?
whenever like some famous pop star gets caught cheating or something. I'm like, yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I figured.
I figured Harry Styles. Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is so excited that you're, she grew up Chabad.
Yeah.
In,
Harry Styles is really interesting
Oh, what about him?
because I love that people are offended that you're probably doing an amazing character, which I love. Celine Dion from Montreal, whatever. We won't get into it, but I like. If the show is still playing, I want to see it.
Yeah.
And let's plug it now. What is it?
Titanic, the Daryl Roth Theater.
And if they message you, they get a code.
Yeah. If they message
discount
me,
code.
I'll send you a promo code.
What's your Instagram?
At Russell J. Daniels.
And while we're on this, please join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. We got bonus episodes, live episodes. That's the best way to support the show. And I ran into a Debbie Downsiders, what we call our listeners.
Oh, okay.
And I ran into, it's always, whenever they see me at a show, it's always surreal because they're like, I listen to the podcast and I'm like, oh my God, you know so much about me.
Yeah.
But then I got a gift. Someone gave me, in Seattle, middle of the show, they gave me a bag with a big joint, lighter,
Oh, wow.
an edible, no milligram count in the edible. So I was too scared to eat it. I took a nibble. It tasted strong.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be you taking the 65 milligram
yeah.
gummy.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
So I've been nibbling it. Who knows if I'm getting any pot at all. But every night I just have a little nibble before I go to bed.
God.
So thank you for
So-
that. Give me the milligrams next time.
Harry Styles.
No, like that's offensive
Yeah.
because it's like, be gay or not. Stop
Yeah.
teetering. Am I going to come out? Am I
Well,
not going
it
to come
feels-
out? You're not gay. You're
feels
queer
it
baiting.
feels
It
manipulative.
feels like a financial it feels like a marketing team sat
Yeah.
you down and was like, hey, this will play well.
Yeah.
And you'll
But are we coming up with that?
Yeah.
Maybe he does want to wear these
No,
things.
exactly. And that's why they're both right. Is it
Yes.
annoying?
Yes.
Yes. Is he fine to do it? Yes.
Yes.
So that's it. Are you annoying and not gay, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like, gay didn't have to mean, gay is just the act.
Mm.
Like, for me, my identity isn't like even with it's like queer girls with the boyfriends, which I think now is the gayest thing you can do is a queer girls have a boyfriend. That's actually the gayest thing you can do in society. But, and
Wait, okay. What do you mean? Is this a new thing? Is this a new?
yeah, like the gayest, queer girls have boyfriends now.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, if you go to Brooklyn, they're all queer, but they all live in. They have a boy and a girl, but one of them's non-binary, but she's a girl.
Okay.
Okay, it's queer girls with boyfriends. We know this, right? We know this girl. She's from Brooklyn. She went to Wesleyan. God knows what. She went to Bard. I don't know where she went.
Yeah.
Okay. But, and that's a joke. Okay, so don't come at me. Come at Russell. Come at Russell. Okay, DM him. Okay, not me. But the Harry Styles thing, I don't even know why I was going before that because you had so many questions.
I wish you
about queer girls with
wore that
boyfriends.
with. I wish you wore that the thing with the nipples out. If you came here one day, his last thing at the Grammys.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like this with the nipples right out in the corner.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay. So here's the whole thing with it. It's like queer to me, like gay to me is just, yeah, I'm with other girls. Like we're doing that.
Yeah.
That's all it means. Like if you're not doing that, what's going on? Like, to me, it's just, and then I'm not talking about people who identify somewhere in the middle. That's fine. But I'm talking just on a general. Okay? Dudes are diddling with each other's dicks. And same with the girls. We're doing. So it's just that. It doesn't really mean anything else.
All the other things. Yeah.
So you've made it like you've made it queer mean all these other things that really I'm just like, well, it's what kind of sex are you having? Like, I don't want to get too personal, but it's like when I meet I'm queer, this is my boyfriend. I'm like, okay, well then you and I are not having the same conversation. It's fine. But it's like, what do I do with this? Like, I'm like,
Sure.
okay, you're calling it like, so I'm straight. People don't let me do that, but I am straight. But I have a girlfriend. They're like, what? But I'm like, but that's what's happening.
I'd love if I had a boyfriend and said, well, I'm straight. This is my boyfriend. It'd be tough.
But
It'd be
that's
a
what
tough
I
sell.
hear. I
That's
hear
what you
that once a week.
Well, let me be frank. I can't.
And that's fine.
I can't pontificate thoughts on this because I'm too scared to. There's just a degree where I'm like, if people want to, if you're bi and you've only dated men your whole life, okay, that's fine. I'm not whatever. Say there's no. I can't.
Yeah.
And I'm bi. I guess I'm bi because I'm open to men. It's never happened.
Sure.
But I've never been, because you're a man. I haven't had a click. I haven't had a butterflies. But I'm open.
I say to
Could
people all the
happen at
time. I
any
had
point.
that guy go down on me in a musical theater camp. And so in a way,
You're definitely bi.
I'm definitely bi. No, but I'm not. It would be such a false thing for me.
No, but you could claim that. But you're
Sure, I
too
could claim
homophobic
it.
too. You're afraid to be gay.
You've said before. You or other members of our sketch team. They're like, if you ever claim to be bi, we're gonna.
No, guys can't claim to be be bi.
Sure.
Because then you're fucking gay. And men understand that. Men go,
That's so.
if you're bi, you're gay. Men are one step ahead of us on this. And we're going, girls would love if they went down on one girl and be queer. They're making out saying queer.
Yeah.
We've gone way, we let anyone, and then that's fine. I don't care. I'm just like, can I step away from this conversation? Like, if I'm trying to have it's nice to sit down with somebody who's having experiences like you, get advice, what are you using? What do you find? What dildos? I like this new silicone thing they're doing. If you're not doing any of that, I'm going, like if you're having a conversation and you're identifying as gay, you're queer with another gay guy who's maybe a bottom and he's douching the way that he's doing, which is a serious job to be a bottom in the gay community. He's going, okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't allow, he's going, you and I are not having the same experience. It's fine. You're a human. I'm a human. We have that experience. But they're in the sex, they're just different. There's nothing wrong.
No.
What happened to it being okay to be different? I thought we were all Sesame Street. Let's highlight our different. We're special because of our differences. We connect because of our differences. Now you have to be like me. Why do you have to be like me? Who even wants to be this? It makes but the whole thing is still, even though I've complained about all this, nothing matters. It's fine. It's also all fine.
Yeah, well, hold up. Because I feel like you make points, and then you go, it's all fine.
I know, because that's how I feel.
I feel
but
that.
That's how I
feel the same way. I feel like I do that all the time too.
Yeah.
Because because I also am like, I hate when someone is like, no, this is blah blah blah. Like, I'm right. I blah blah.
Yes.
I hate when someone feels like they're telling me they're right all the time. And so I always want to have a window of, even if I feel really really strongly, of being like, I'm wrong too, probably.
Yes.
But you don't
Everybody is
believe it. But you don't
100%.
believe it.
Everybody's 100% right. No,
No, you don't actually believe that.
I do. Like the Israel-Palestine thing. When
Okay.
somebody gives me the Palestinian side of things, I go, you know what? They're 100% right. Can't argue with facts. Look, they're 100% right. My brother would say one thing about Israel. I'm like, he's got a point. He's got a point. And then we're back to
you
square
gotta
one.
make a decision.
No,
You don't
everybody
have
is
to.
100% right from the perspective they're coming from. That's the whole point. We're all, even to it gets so on the micro level. I could go argue I can argue both, like all the way to the other end. It gets like, even when somebody goes, well, what's the difference of trans women and cis women? I go, well, what's the difference of one cis woman and another cis woman? They're two very different experiences.
Of course.
Even within women, even within men. they're different. Okay, because we're all snowflakes. So I could argue the other end. That's why I think everybody's 100% right all the time. It's an issue. I don't think anybody's wrong. I think people are just coming from their perspectives. I come from mine, and I feel certain things, but I don't expect everybody to be like me because, I never have met somebody like that. But it's just, I don't know. I accept everything. I hate everything, and I also think everything's fine. I don't know. They're
But it's
very
not.
close
Everything's
to me.
not fine. Everything's not fine.
No, I'm just saying anybody's fine to believe what they believe. Okay, and I even if I think they're wrong, I know that to them I'm wrong. I just know that. Like to them, I'm 1,000% wrong, even though I know I'm 1,000% right. So then what?
Sure, I think, but then I think this is the same thing as nihilism to a degree. We go, then everyone
don't know
does
what
everything
that
what they
means.
do.
Men always
Nothing
drop
matters.
this word.
Nothing matters. Nothing matters. So why you
And
have
everything
points of
matters.
views.
And everything matters.
No,
Yeah.
I cannot stand this. This yin yang.
No, it is true. Everything matters and nothing matters. Everything matters because we're here for a short time, and that's that. So it matters. And nothing matters because we're here for a short time. I mean, it works both ways.
Sure.
Everything
Yeah.
works both ways. So when somebody's mad about something, like this is the way, what?
Yeah.
Let's think about it from the other. Put yourself in somebody's shoes. We used to have, it's like, yeah, you have to put yourself in someone's shoes.
You're
You
like-
can't do it, but you're trying.
You're like if
Yeah.
someone said, okay, Israel, Palestine, one state or two state, and you're like, why not both? And it's like, well, you
No, but
can't. At
literally.
some point, you got to do one thing. You got to do
Yeah.
something. You got to take a stand. Maybe everyone thinks that they're right, but do you believe that anybody is ever wrong ever? Anyone's ever done a decision where you can go,
Yeah.
you know what, that's wrong.
Oh, I think everybody is wrong. I think I'm 1,000% right. That's you. You don't understand me. I think I am right.
Sure.
If I ran the world,
What would you do?
it would be good.
It would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I would do things small and big. I would eliminate countries. When people ask me about Palestine,
Oh
when
my
people ask me
god.
Israel, Palestine, I go, who made up even these lines? Like, it's not your earth. Like, I don't even think home ownership should happen. Do I want houses? Yes, I want 5 to 7 properties. Okay. But if I was thinking philosophically about it, no, I don't even think countries should exist. I think somebody made this up many years ago.
Yeah.
And now we do this. It's like, it's not your land. It'll be here when you go.
Yeah.
It was here before you got here. It's just such an arbitrary. It's not. You can't own this land. It's everybody's land. It's like a private beach. I'm like, it's a literal. It's
Yeah.
everybody's beach.
Yeah, it's nice to say this in theory, but as you
Yes.
said, you want to have 5 to 7 properties.
Because I live in these worlds. I live in this game. I do this thing. I'm not. I don't think I
That
can.
doesn't discredit how the feeling of yeah.
Yeah. I feel like everyone should have a great meal, but I'm not going out there and sharing my lunch with everybody.
Yeah. So then
Yeah.
you understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you understand.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't think you're arguing.
I think it's like arguing with a cloud. It's this, it's that. It's well, then it's both.
It's yes. The
Okay,
thing
but
is,
then
it
what?
is
But
a-
then we gotta go. We gotta leave the house at some
And
point.
we
We gotta
do,
make a
and we
decision:
do.
A or B, right or
Look,
left,
and
yes
we're
or no.
living.
Yeah.
I think this, and I'm living. I got here.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is how I live my life. Somebody I was watching. Somebody was saying, I think Bill Maher was asking somebody on some podcast,
Friend of the
what
pod.
do you think? What do you think? He was talking about race. Of course.
I love
He was talking about race, and he was talking to a black congressman, I believe, and he was talking about it, and he goes, what do you think the issues are? Because when you take race about it, there was some kind of case where there was black police who killed a black man. And so then he said, well, now you take race out of it. And so what is it? Is it poverty? Is it this? Is this? And I'm thinking, it's men.
Yeah.
What's the common denominator of every problem?
Yeah.
War, guns, rape. It's literally men. Like, wake up. What do you need, a flag? Like, it's
Sure.
literally, it's like 99% men.
Yeah.
The biggest fear to women is men. And then the biggest fear to men is other men.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's never. So I don't even understand why he couldn't. I'm like, do you not see that it's just all girls are going, it's men. Like every girl is like, we're scared of you. Like you're doing weird things. You're shooting cans. You get guns to shoot cans. We don't do such things. It's like weird, and at the same time, You have to understand what men, the role, whatever. Like everything is explainable. I get so crazy when I watch like a true crime case. Like I watch like, Alex Murdaugh is happening now, or whatever's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's this, Alex?
Yeah, he's the guy, a lawyer who killed his family.
His last name is literally murderer.
Yeah.
I'm going, what do you need? A flag?
Yeah.
Like Hashem literally named him murderer. Murdaugh. It's spelled in an
Murdaugh.
Irish way.
But he's like Southern
He's a
too, so it's like
Murdaugh.
Murdaugh. You know, like it's like, yeah.
Okay. I'm mad at them. Like
Yeah.
you literally.
You think he said that right before?
Well, we
You should have known my last name.
This is Murdaugh.
Murder.
Yeah, exactly.
How did he do it?
I'm going to murder you.
Shotgun.
And then he killed
It's
himself
a whole
too?
thing.
It's a whole thing. I'm not getting into it.
It's
Why,
too
can't
long.
get it-
No, he
It's
killed
too
people.
long to describe his whole family. It's
He
crime.
killed his family.
People, yeah,
Killed his
but he
family, killed himself.
No,
But
he's alive still.
Oh, he's alive.
But I get into it. I get so sympathetic to everybody who's everything. I feel bad for I don't feel bad for the whole family because I don't like rich people. But if I had to, I go into, he was so financially stressed. I've been stressed before. He was brought to the brink. The pressure. Now he's living a bigger and bigger life. He's got to bring up so he made bad decisions. He was brought. Have you ever made even a bad decision to cheat on a test or whatever? You're brought to your limit. I'm like, forget it. I had a skirt on, my uniform at school, and I would write, I'm so not a cheater, but I wrote things on my leg. And it was such a bad experience because of potentially getting caught. But I was brought to this point of exhaustion.
Do you remember what test it was? Like what subject?
No, I can't
But you're
remember.
like, during the test, you're just like.
Yeah, and I didn't even need it. It was a safety blanket.
You know what I did?
remember that.
I did a lot of looking at people's paper. It was just too easy. Spelling test, looking at people's paper. And then the worst, you go up to hand your
I had bad
test in.
vision.
You go up to hand your test in. They had a stack. Everyone had stacked their tests at the front desk. So you go, you look at someone else's first page, you go, you know what? I got to go back and check one more thing. That's how I cheated.
Fine.
You ever cheat? You ever cheat on a test?
I did once.
Of course.
What did you
We
do?
all cheat on tests.
I did once that I remember. Probably like I remember that
The
same
stress
feeling
is
of
annoying.
the stress of
The
like
stress is annoying.
of like it was because I just didn't
Did you
know.
think about murdering
I remember
the whole
that
classroom first?
I stayed up the whole night before trying to like make my brain understand what was happening in that chemistry class, and I couldn't do it. And I was like.
Yep.
I felt so stressed at that test, and just like looking for.
So how'd you cheat? What'd you do?
Looking. I tried looking.
You tried looking.
Didn't work.
I had someone called me out once. He said he said stop looking at my test. Oh. And I was like, I was just seeing how far you were into the test.
And that's a fucking narc. I
yeah.
also don't like him.
Yeah,
I don't like any people in this scenario, but then I can also empathize with everybody in the scenario. It's like, I think the easiest way for people to put it is like women in prison. You understand? Many are battered. So we could go, oh my God, are they like, they're battered. Like, should we be putting them in prison? A lot of it is self-defense that women are in prison, their husbands, boyfriends, whatever. And they killed them, and they're brought to that. And we have empathy. But then I even stretched to financial crimes. Like, he was so stressed. Could you imagine how many people he's in charge of? I start to get where I go, there's no crime. The crime is in how they were raised, I start to get, they didn't have support. Like, I start to get like, so like, it's just such a shame.
Yeah.
Like if they,
It's such a
I'll
shame.
give you an example, and you tell me how I want to hear your reasoning to there's no crime. Let's say Martha Stewart insider trading. Like, just break that down.
That tore me because she's getting from finance. She's not, it's like when somebody does ask me about Israel Palestine, I go, listen, I'm sure the people over there thinking a lot more, thinking about these issues a lot more than I've had the 3 seconds to think about it now. Yeah. Martha Stewart, she's got all these financial guys. Some of us, I don't have a business manager. Do you have a business manager?
Yeah, to a degree.
See?
Yeah,
okay.
friend. Yeah.
You don't have everything stone. Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought about
Okay.
the other day. I said, if he wants to rob me blind,
And
or
they
if he
do.
wants to break a
By
law,
the way,
I don't know.
And he will.
He
and
will.
now that you've given him permission, it's not even a crime.
Yeah.
Okay, so, play this tape back.
He's got 3 daughters. You know,
Okay.
he's got. He's busy.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that third one needs to go to college, I'm done.
That's it. And girls, expensive. Okay, so so Martha Stewart, she gets a tip. You do the tip. I hear tips all the time. You don't know that it's actually illegal to get a tip most times. Mm-hmm. Like if you have a friend who works there and they're like, yeah, we're doing this, we're buying this company. That's like an insider trading tip that like literally you can't act on, but they're all acting on it. So she gets caught. She's a fucking G. She's like, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
I did it. I didn't know. I did it. And it's same with Felicity Huffman. She's like, oh, I wanted my girl. My girl's dumb as bricks.
Listen,
I wanted her to go to the school. She went to the school.
Yeah.
You got me. I'm
I
ashamed. I'm
defended her on here.
embarrassed.
Someone commented
I did.
they were annoyed. They were annoyed that I said like all these colleges, they're all fakakta, they're all scams. She just got caught. They're all
I
scamming
always
other
felt
ways.
weird
Yes.
that somehow Felicity Huffman got in trouble, but her husband didn't. Like I was like, wait, how does he?
And
not?
he didn't stay by her. He's a fucking pussy.
How did he not get in trouble? Like, how is it all her job to lie
Yes.
and get these kids into?
The problem with stuff like that, and I think like cheating in school, is like the people who get caught, they're just the stupid ones. They're the ones who did it poorly.
Yeah.
Like they're
He
so
didn't-
ultimately you're.
He wasn't with her in court. He didn't go to any of the
I feel like
things.
he was like
He failed as a man, as a husband.
that's shitty. You know,
yeah,
like,
he should have said their bedroom talk would be like, I'm gonna go to prison for us.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a dude's
Wait, hold up. You think that was the option on the table? I feel
I
sympathy
do.
for this.
No, I agree with you, Russell.
I bet like you could
Something
have
happened.
like.
What do you mean you can't go? You can't go. You know what? My
Well,
you
I feel
have the
like
evidence
either-
on my wife. I will go
best
forward.
case scenario, he wasn't involved, but then he's kind of a shitty dad. He didn't know that like
Yes.
his wife was like doing this thing.
What,
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
you run everything by Nicole. You make decisions every day that you don't run by your wife. You commit crimes every day that
I'm
Nicole
not
has no
lying
idea
to get
about.
my dog into some like school that we can't like.
I could see that happening in a second. In a second.
I just feel like I don't know. It just feels shitty. It feels a little shitty.
Sure, it feels shitty, but we don't know the details.
Who's knocking?
Is someone knocking?
Oh.
Terminate.
Oh, we're good. Sorry, we're recording something. Thank you. Now we're gonna have fucking mice and rats and all sorts of things.
Oh my god.
I can't believe you didn't hear somebody knocking. I hear a knock. See, this is men.
You're right.
No, I heard it.
This is man. I have headphones on.
No,
What is
shut
this?
up. I'm telling you. You don't get scared at night. You ever know
I don't
at
get
night?
scared
Yeah,
at
you don't
night.
get scared at
I'm
night.
terrified at
You
night.
don't know what it's like. But maybe you do. See? Maybe you do. You know what? Once I was walking home.
Yeah.
Is Montreal. My family moved to Montreal. My mother's from Canada. We left the community here. Blah, blah, blah. We moved to Montreal.
How many
She
siblings?
moves. I have 9 siblings.
9 siblings.
She
Oh my
moves the 10 of us to Canada, okay? 10 of the Jewiest Jews moved to Canada, okay? Middle of February, snow up to here, okay? And one day I was leaving. This is like years into living there now. I don't know what I was leaving. I was leaving maybe a late night shift or school or something like that. And I was walking home and it was freezing. We live in a kind of sketchy area. And I'm walking with my coat, my thing. I see a man walking towards me. Late night, snow. I'm like, fuck, I'm shuffling the snow. I'm like, okay. Cross the street, of course. Number one. Okay? Every man at night, by the way, when I say is scary man, is scary.
Sure.
If you're a man and it's night, you're scary.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm small, you're big. We understand humanity. And he starts speeding. He's like shuffling. No. Tall, dark, like hood over hat, can't see, like, really walking. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, there's nothing I'm like 3 blocks from home. Okay. And then I don't even know what happened, but and the street was so narrow, Montreal old streets. So I when we passed and he goes, Rifki? Which is what my family calls me. And I go, huh? As my brother Menachem. My brother Menachem was going to the store. He was so scared himself. He was shuffling, walking so fast because he's afraid of being, mugged.
Mugged.
Yeah.
So he also has a fear. But I was like, you scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to the store. What do you mean? I'm like, you're walking like a criminal. He's like, well, I don't need to be mugged. Like, we both had such a fear.
Yeah.
And then I just walked with him to the store. He walked me home. I'm like, I can't go home now. I'm
Sure.
coming with you. And he's like, I'm freezing. He's like, well, come on. And it's like, it's crazy that it really opened me up that like this guy who's tall, my brother's like a lanky, tall guy, kind of like you. And he makes himself bulk and he just fucking, marches like a psychopath.
Yeah.
And that's what, he's scarier to women, but he's also scared of other men.
Yeah.
Well, me too. I think I've avoided a lot of confrontation. They see tall people and they're like, that's going to be a lot of work to take down. There's an illusion that I think that's the reason I don't have to deal with too many confrontations. They
Yeah.
think, fuck, he's
My
tall.
little sister used to do a joke about it, but I got one of these texts or whatever.
Yeah.
What was the joke?
The joke was, this comes from a real thing. My sister used to work at Starbucks, and she did the late night shift as well, like during school or whatever. So she would get home maybe, I don't know, after midnight or something when they closed up. And she lived in a bad neighborhood, or not a bad neighborhood, but a neighborhood that's getting better. You know, we're always on the up. Like, it's going to be something in 10 years, but we're still not there yet. And she gets out of the metro, the subway station, and she would walk home as if she had a physical ability. And she would not only do that, because she's been stopped so many times, so she would walk home with like a really wild limp or something like that. And she would always have an umbrella, rain or shine. Like, it would be snowing in Montreal. There's no reason to have an umbrella. Her at 11 o'clock at night with an umbrella. That's a scary looking person. That's a scary looking person. Somebody just walking with an umbrella when it's not raining and you don't need it, and it's literally
Nighttime.
winter and night is really freaky. So
that
she
is
did
scary.
these two tricks. Somebody said, well, you know, you can't listen. She's brought to a point.
Do you think they were all scared, or do you think some people were like, "Oh, that person clearly has had a
looks
tough
vulnerable.
enough life"?
Yeah.
They've
Some
had it. I
people
don't
she
need
could
to-
be more vulnerable. Some people, but this is the choice she made on a fly to walk the few blocks home safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you just do whatever the fuck you have to do. Because she's small. She's smaller than me. I'm 5'4". She's 5.
5.
So she's very small.
Yeah.
When you're much smaller than most people don't understand the vulnerability of like.
No.
It's like most rooms you walk into, you're looking at, like, I look at the world, and I'm not even a little person.
Yeah.
5'4". I'm the tallest girl in my family, not to brag, but anyway.
Wow.
And, you know, and people say I read very tall on stage, which is also very nice. Thank you. And I don't think I'm, but you know, it's like everything's like a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm. Now, I brought up the other day that Tova, we have
Yes.
a framed picture of the Rebbe.
Yeah, of course.
And you
got
said
to.
I have
You
a
got
dollar
to.
from the Rebbe. Is
You
that
bet.
true?
Yeah.
What does
we
that
used to
mean?
go, okay, well.
Tell people what the Rebbe is.
770.
I don't know if Russell. Some people don't know.
The Lubavitcher Rebbe. Okay, so the Hasidic community I was born into was called the Lubavitch sect of Hasidic Judaism. There's about 200 sects of Hasidic Judaism that a
And
lot of
that's
people
not
don't.
Chabad. This is not Chabad.
It is Chabad.
Oh.
Yeah, it is Chabad
So
now.
lo-
Lubavitch is Chabad.
That's the same thing?
Chabad is the outreach program of Lubavitch. Chabad
Wow.
is kind of like what talks to not like other Jews. I almost call them non-Jews, but to us they were like, what are they doing?
What are they just on an assignment, or is that part of that? That is the community.
Yeah, it's outreach. It's outreach. Now
Interesting.
now it's so big Chabad that it almost is its own thing. But growing up, it was less its own thing.
It's grown. Numbers have grown
Chabad houses, yes, have grown.
from within inside or from recruiting.
Recruiting, different houses. I don't know. I don't know. It just got bigger. The movement. Movements get bigger sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not doing the sociological.
I'm just so fat. It just feels like Jews. It's not as much about recruitment as some other religions.
No, and exactly, it's not recruitment. That's why I was hesitant to use that word. It is outreach. It's education. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're curious, you can do, but they don't encourage converting. And the most important thing about that is it's only to other Jews, so it's not
Of course.
converting. They're not interested in seeking non-Jews to learn more. They're interested in seeking less religious Jews to know more about their Judaism.
But is Chabad Hasidic as well, or no?
It is. I think
It
it's like
is.
yes, it is, because it is. It is. I believe it is. It used to be for sure more. Maybe it's more chill now, what we would say, because everything chills out over time.
Because I said to Tova, I said on stage, "Do you care if I say Hasidic and say Chabad?" And she said, "No, that's okay." But I think for her, they're different.
They are. Like, Hasidic is, we're really doing it. Chabad is like, people dip in, people aren't as religious. Hasidic, they're wearing black hats, they're doing the whole thing.
And you were raised.
Hasidic, but we had an affiliation. Chabad is, again, our outreach. Okay, so Chabad is where less religious Jews, in our opinion, would, get their fix of Hasidic Judaism. But we live full time in the Hasidic community.
Sure. So the Rebbe.
So the Rebbe is the rabbi. Rebbe is just like Yiddish. He's the rabbi for this movement. He started this movement, or he's like the head of this movement. this branch of Hasidic Judaism, sect of Hasidic Judaism. In any event, what he would do is you would give him, you would bring $1 to him. So the shul was called 770 because its address is 770 Eastern Parkway.
What's the shul?
A synagogue.
A synagogue. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and it's like the headquarters of the Chabad Lubavitch movement. And we called it 770 for short because the address was 770 Eastern Parkway. It's still there. When you go there, it's beautiful. It's really a very, very old house that is a shul, and they've expanded, blah, blah, blah. And there's tons of, it's their synagogue. So anyway, but he would give you $1. I think you would give him $1. You would wait up. And it was for charity. So you would give $1 for charity. And he would, I don't know why, you traded the dollar. You kept the Rebbe's dollar. Oh, yeah. He would give you $1. Oh, this is how it worked. I was a kid, wouldn't happen. But your parents would take you. And for Friday, it's very, or not on Friday, obviously, because of money. But charity is a big part of the thing. So he would give out dollars that you give away. He encouraged charity. So he would give you $1, you would give it away. You give you $1, you would give it away, okay? And just to kids, to everyone, and it was a good thing to get.
And would you give it only to another Jew or to anyone? Homeless guy in the street?
Yeah, you could do that. You could do anyone. Yeah, we're big on poverty and stuff like that. So it's like
even for non-Jews.
Yeah, mostly though for Jews because
Okay.
there's a lot of poverty in that community.
Sure.
So it's mostly to help out, your neighbors. We live by those things. But what you would do is you would get his $1 and you would trade it for another $1 you had, and you would keep that $1 because the Rebbe gave it to you.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you still gave $1 away. So that's where the trade came in. So I still have the Rebbe $1. You didn't keep it and not replace it with $1 to give to charity because the whole lesson is to give to charity.
Yeah.
I remember starting my days, even as early as kindergarten, with a song. We would give a penny. Like everybody had a penny in the morning. You could give your penny with this finger, and we would be like, to give tzedakah, to give charity, and we would put it in. And so, yeah, giving is a really big. It's very incorporated in you, I think. And I grew up that way, like the cash giving, and it's interesting because I remember my mother. Also, she really embodied this. I remember we were walking in Montreal. My mother, we were very tight. We were on welfare and really hard. And my mother would always say, we're tight, not this month or whatever it is. And then we're walking one day and we get off the subway. And my mother, there's a nun, begging, it's like an old lady begging for money for whatever. And my mother gives $5, opens her purse, gives a $5. And I go, you're giving a $5? I thought we were tight. I can't even, you know what I mean? You're not giving us any money. Yeah. I'm like, you're giving a $5? She goes, sometimes when you're tight, it's important to give, to remind yourself you're in a position to give. And I still do that. If I feel worried about work, something, I don't know, I give my smallest denomination to the next guy who asked. I've had to give up 20s, and I go, but you know what? I had the 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about it that, there are still things that I carry with me.
Sure. I think that's the one
okay.
that, I think there's some degree where people go we'll figure out a value system outside of religion. And as someone who didn't grow up with any religion, no one told my dad at any point to be give a little. And so it's part of it is that community, it's having a community that encourages you to give.
Yeah.
It's nice in theory.
It is really nice.
I don't think it affects everyone correctly.
No, but it affects, the Jewish community is pretty good with their own about that.
How rich was the Rebbe? I think I don't fully
think he
understand.
was that rich. I
How
think
long
he
has
probably
he been
was
in
rich.
that position? How long is
We died. When did he die?
He died in 97, I believe.
And there's no next.
He could not have kids. He didn't have kids.
He could not.
No. And by all accounts, he seemed like a really noble. I still haven't heard any negative stories about him. He lived extremely humbly. He was one of these. I mean, Chabad got really big, and it's not as humble it used to be, but I think he really did live kind of like that. And he was at the synagogue every day. He really.
The whole concept of leaders with Judaism, I've always been confused. Who changes policies?
They all get together.
But who's they all? Is it a board? Is it just everyone? Everyone
it's
agrees?
Everyone,
Did you hear?
everybody.
They're kind of saying.
Yes, it's literally everybody. Rabbis, it's men. It's all men. But even sometimes they listen to it's like the Chabad, I guess, meets at 770 maybe once a year or whatever. You should look up pictures. There's like thousands of men who meet, and they talk like they had a big meeting about what are we going to do with technology and cell phones in the community. And everybody airs their opinion and this and that, and we try and come to some senses, and different families do different things.
Did they come to some new rules? They said, okay.
They do. They say, they say like, we will, this is bad, but you'll see families that still do it or families that don't. Like, everybody comes to what they're comfortable doing.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
Do you stay up to date with what's going on in the community?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the last update. I mean, cell phones. I remember when they were talking about that. That's way gone. Now every Hasidic Jew has a. I mean, it's
of course.
Yeah. So,
of course.
So, but whatever the new thing is that they need to talk about. I think they talked about gay. They're talking. They want to figure something out. It's very hard for them to understand these things. But they get together and they go, okay, the more people who can help me, like, you think gay? Like my father, when he found
that's the opening.
You
All
think
right,
gay?
everyone, we're here today.
No, they
you think
literally,
gay?
yeah. Because if you're not doing the gay shit in the community, you don't know, you don't believe. You're like, do you know anyone who did gay? Like, they don't know. Like,
I did gay once in college.
they can't imagine it. Like, it's something like, it's like, they just can't imagine it. They're not friends with these people.
But some of them are. They can't imagine it, but I'm sure half of them
so some of them do. So some of them go, listen, I do know somebody.
I do know somebody. I got a friend. He did some gay stuff.
Yeah, he did gay. And they go, really? Like, they can't, the people who didn't meet that guy, or the people aren't that, like, and even if they met the guy, they might be, what do you mean?
Why?
Were you coerced for money? Like, they don't, it takes... You have to. It's just a different world.
Why did your mom leave with all of you?
So much, so many things. My parents had a bad marriage. I'm not going to get into it. Terrible. But
Married
my mother,
young, I assume.
Married very young. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mother had 10 kids by the age of 30.
Wow.
Just an enormous vagina. Yeah, I know. So it's like.
What number are you in there?
7th.
Are there any stereotypes about the 7th child?
No, I always want to know.
You should do with other 10, see if there's any commonalities.
Yeah, I did. We did a whole podcast episode about that because I wanted to know about other 7s, as a matter of fact.
My dad is one of 12.
What number is
I don't
he?
know
What?
number
I
he's
didn't
on.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
You
are
have that many
kidding?
aunts and uncles?
Yeah.
Could you name them all?
They were not religious. They were farmers. So they were like...
Just nothing to do. You needed help.
Well, no, they needed help on the farm. So they had more kids,
They probably didn't have contraception.
Yes.
That's
that
they're
too,
like, oh,
probably.
fuck, we need someone to raise the tractor.
But I'd have to... I don't know what number. He's in the middle-ish.
Could you name all your aunts and uncles? You don't have to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
really?
could. Yeah.
I couldn't. And
I can't name all
two.
the cousins' kids. I can name probably all the cousins. I have
How many is
over
that?
50 cousins.
Oh my God,
First
you can
cousins.
name them all?
Probably, yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Definitely if I saw their picture.
I have 2 cousins.
Yeah. Wow.
2 first
Two
cousins.
cousins?
Yeah, I probably have
9 siblings,
on my
2 cousins.
Yeah, I know, because we're the ones with 10. My parents became religious. We had 10, but they grew up normal.
Yeah.
So I just have like Aaron and Daniel in Vermont, and then there's all of us, and so it's like my mother only had one brother.
How often are the 10 of you together?
Not often, but we're there are. I mean, I'm close with about like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Really close.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
It was pretty good.
But when you moved to Canada, were you still part of the Hasidic community?
Yes. So initially, it's like a transition that happens. I think people think that we moved to Canada. That's it. We moved to walkable distance to our synagogue, same community, Lubavitch community.
Were they chill about the divorce?
No.
No.
My mother was harassed.
Really?
Yes, by people in my community that reported back to the Brooklyn community because there's a relationship there.
Harassed, like go back to him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My mother was somehow strong. I don't know, because she seems. It's amazing what she was able to do. The more I think about it, because she's like so docile, so Canadian. Probably what we would on the spectrum for sure.
Sure.
And she just reached a brink. She was very badly treated by my father. And she somehow, one day, I mean, it's a whole story, but my grandfather was basically over her father, who was not in the community, but worried sick about her, Jewish, but being like, Connie, how are you having all these kids? Like, it's his daughter he's so close to. And he's like, never saw this life for her. He came, post-Holocaust. Let's work. He worked at a meat shop. His kids, he wanted them to go to university. The first generation to do that. Like the normal Jews that who have money now. Mm-hmm. He didn't think this. Like, what? Going to squander this opportunity we had coming to Canada. His parents came to Canada, but he worked, immigrant lifestyles. And my mother, finally he came, and my mother was in bad shape. And he said, let's go home, Connie. And he got her when she was really vulnerable. And she said, okay, Dad. And he just did everything.
And he packed,
all
10
the kids.
kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
we
10
all
kids
left.
on a plane?
On a plane.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
my God.
I remember it was 4 rows on the plane. We had my grandfather in the front. My mother she had a mental breakdown. Totally was not even there.
How old were you?
I was a kid. And then we had, my grandfather was dating my step grandmother,
Wow.
who I loved. We loved any attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember on the plane, that's what I remember, that it was kosher, but we didn't buy the kosher meal because of the price.
Yeah.
So my mother brought Fritos and different things. And you would take like a handful of Fritos, pass it to the next kid and pass it down. We were on. So my grandfather's in the front with my mom and my step grandmother in the back. And then 9 kids in between and 1 kid there. And we were doing the Fritos and I was like in the last row and there was no Fritos left for me.
Oh.
And I'm like, the fuck? Look how much schmull he got. Look how much schmull he got. Okay, I'm like freaking out. My
I
new
love the idea of
step-grandmother.
if you had been seated somewhere in the middle of this entire family drama, and then you took a handful of the Fritos. They're like, "What the fuck? Who is this?"
Yeah. And then my step-grandmother, she went to take a little bit from everybody so that I could have some.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I really liked her. And I thought, when you're a kid and somebody draws and you're like, wow, you're an artist.
Yeah.
She drew a flower. I said, Ma, she's really an artist. And I would give her projects. I'd be like, hey, could you draw me this? And she'd be like, I can try. And I'm like, and I would save her pictures.
Oh.
I would be like, wow, she's an artist. Like, I was so impressed by that as a kid, just good drawing. I even remember my 2nd grade Hebrew teacher. I think her name was Mrs. Raish. Maybe that was English. Maura Raish? I can't remember. Drew an elephant that blew my fucking mind. We did Noah's Ark. And she drew an elephant. I said, she's free drawing this elephant. Wow. And I really wanted to be the elephant because of how she drew the elephant.
My little brother painted a moose in 7th grade for a class, and I taught him, I was like, you should be an artist. And I think that's, my bar is just low, but I saw it, I was like, you're astounding. Yeah. This moose is incredible.
It's
you
amazing.
need to pursue this.
Yeah.
That
and he
we
was like,
shame
no.
art, as we grow old.
We
but
do.
when we're younger, we're like,
We love it.
this came out of
Yeah.
somebody's got to do something with her. Like, she's an artist.
I did a
would come
housewarming once where everyone who came over, they got to paint on the walls. And some people drew some that felt really personal, and it felt like,
Wait,
this is
what
so much.
housewarming?
It was my first apartment in New York. We had people over, and some of them were artists, and it was we just had paint, and they painted the walls with different
I would
designs
hate
and
that.
pictures.
That-
It was
see that
beautiful.
I hate.
If you were a little kid, you would have said, "Wow,
Then you're
look
gonna
at
Yeah,
that."
I know.
then you paint over it, right?
Yeah.
No,
okay,
we
good.
kept it till the end. I loved it. Oh, it was beautiful. Just this.
I don't want all these people in my house too. I'm like, what? Jeremy did
okay,
that.
it's
I
the
don't-
concept
I
of
don't need him.
housewarming. Sure, we
Yeah.
can start there. Did your mom stay in the community? She's
No,
harassed.
so wait,
She's
no,
harassed.
so she was harassed. So we were still religious. It was like it was like a transition period. When somebody transitions, they're not suddenly hormones
Sure.
take time. Everything takes time. Okay, so for us, I was like kosher till maybe 19. So there's certain things that really stayed, but I was wearing pants earlier.
What'd you break it with? What was your first non-kosher
Egg
thing?
McMuffin. From McDonald's. All I wanted growing up was a nugget. And all the non-Jews and the less religious Jews than me, I was always the most religious kid at school, even in Canada. I was still doing everything religious. I was the coach. I was starting to go to school with Jews who were Jewish, but come on.
Right.
We're going to have a Happy Meal when we're out of the house.
Yeah.
They were kosher in the house, but not out of the house. I was kosher 24/7. I'm like, fuck. The good news about it is I got very good with temptation. I'm very good at Like I would, some non-Jewish kid after school would have a Happy Meal. I would smell those nuggets, the whiff. And then it would be okay. I would go home, have my mother's fucking meatloaf, whatever the fuck she made. Okay. And I was full. Was I satisfied? Not, but I'm full.
Yeah.
And I was fine. I didn't think of the McDonald's. So I'm very good. You know when people are poly and this and that? Sick people. But I'm okay. Like when I'm in a relationship, and this is why being a lesbian, I guess, works for me. It's like monogamy is not for the faint of heart. I always joke, like people want to be poly, you got to be a gay man. This is not for the faint of heart, okay? They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Okay, straight people try and get poly, it gets fucking messy. If you're straight, okay, poly is for gay men because they're men. They know how to handle their shit. Pun intended and otherwise, okay? They know how to fucking handle it. Dykes, penguins, monogamous till the day we die. Okay, very good at handling temptation. If a hot girl or something walks by, I see it. Within minutes, I'm done. Okay, I'm very good at having 90% of what I want. I'm okay not to have everything I want. I've really learned to manage temptation, which is something it keeps me focused in many ways. And then if you're straight, I think you get to cheat. That's it. You don't get to, that's it. You get to cheat and live with your secrets and your weird shit. And that's what you do. Okay? These are the rules.
I can't endorse this.
Well, are you doing poly?
No, I just recently I talked with a friend of mine who's in a polyamorous marriage, and they have a kid. And it's kind of like they get all of the stress of being in a divorced with kids while being married at the same time.
God.
It sounds like the rule, because you add the rules. Can the partner meet the kid? They
like drama.
They told me, they said it's been a tough week. My wife just broke up with her boyfriend of 5 years, and I said, "Holy shit, that sounds like a nightmare." Every time sometimes I'm like, "Oh, poly, that sounds fun," and then I hear the stories, and I go, "That sounds like the most stressful shit."
Don't tell non-poly people your stories. We don't want to know. That's why we're not doing it. Okay, it's stressful. Everything, life, it is. Yeah, the poly straight couples, it's like, it's just this is like going back to what we were talking about in the beginning. They're both right. Somebody was talking to me about this the other day after a show. She was saying, I would always, if I got into a relationship, I would need some level of openness. I need a level of openness, okay? And I said, sure. But I've never met a girl who does that. You can't date women. Because a girl, they're going to tell, I understand that you need a level of openness. I get what that does, and that sounds great. But a girl will not allow it. Okay? And a girl, she'll say, well, you're inviting problems. And she's absolutely right. We're both right. You need a level of openness, but are you inviting problems? Yeah. Poly people are always looking. They never sit and relax enjoying a glass of wine. I relax. Because you know what? I'm not always looking.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not always looking. They're always looking to test it. They need, it's kind of like my testing is stand-up. Like, I grew up so vulnerable, like just poor and really not watched and kind of feral and, vulnerable to the elements, to the winds, to men, and I'm now less vulnerable. I have some money. I'm safe. I'm a grown-up. You know what I mean? And so I think I must feel comfortable in some level of vulnerability. So I do stand up. Because it's good I feel comfortable, unsure, and scared a little.
Yeah.
And all that. It actually is a safe spot, even though I don't want to. I'm like, fuck, why can't I be comfortable on a beach? I'm just not.
Sure.
I'm more uneasy on a beach. What's going on here? What are we doing here? For how long?
Yeah.
But
I'm going to Aruba next week with Tova, and I'm
it'll
not
be
excited
good
about
for
it.
a week.
It's so stressful.
But
beach,
I think
one beach
I
day.
think these people, they push it. They this is the stability of whatever their life. Like, they need this. Will a person stay with me if I do this? Will they not? Will they? How much can I push it? We have all these rules, but let me break me break something we haven't talked about. Let me find a loophole. Let me find a gap.
But I don't think cheating's any. I don't think cheating's any better.
No, but that's what straight people get. It's not. None of them are good. Monogamy to the day you die. It is not for the faint of heart. This is for lesbians. Okay. Men, poly, like orgies all the time. They got to get tested every week. Not for the faint of heart. Okay. Cheating. How do you sleep at night? There's not one good scenario. There's not. I'm not saying that one. They're all horrendous, but these are the options we have so far.
Sure.
None of them are good.
I just wonder, like my dad, who's like a cheater, just like a guy. Some guys, maybe the monogamy sucks, but they can resist.
And
then
sucks.
some guys, it seems like my father. I just don't think he could.
Yeah.
And so I go, you know what? Maybe he should have, if he had the option to be poly, if they had field back in the day or whatever fucking
It would suck for other reasons.
Yeah.
Of course it would suck for other reasons. But maybe more manageable reasons. Better to have an emotional discovery than to cheat.
But then
You don't know.
you might not have existed because your mom might not have married a man that was
Again, there's
poly.
lots of positives to discuss.
Yeah. There's not a good solution to most things. It's not going to all be good. You have to always pick.
I think talking is always better than lying.
You make
Lying is tough.
But some people like to lie. That's their That's
Sure,
where they
but
feel
then
good.
we go through this whole.
They
that's
feel
why,
a rush.
Again,
like
every time someone
kleptomanias.
cheats, everyone acts shocked, and I go, "What do you mean? Have you looked at the whole history of the world?
That's
It's been
it. A lot
happening
of
for forever.
So
and it
a
will
lot of
happen
people
for
must
forever."
like it, right?
Sure.
Subconsciously, a lot of people must get a thrill of something
Yeah.
that gets their rocks off from doing something like this.
Yeah.
And it's true. And you pick your own body. Listen, I was telling this girl, we were talking after, I said, listen, what I figured out about women being in my business of women is.
Keep talking. I'm going to change this camera.
Oh, why?
It just went out.
Keep talking.
Did we lose everything?
No.
What do you have to change?
Plug this in right here.
Look, you got a good setup.
This is great audio.
As if I could keep talking with such a distraction.
I know.
What am I, not human? Like, what am I, a fish? Just keep Well, no, I'm going to look at
there we
this.
go,
What
there
the
we
fuck
go.
is happening
Okay.
over my shoulder?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Just keep talking. Like, what am I, a robot? No, you're over my shoulder. I'm going to... What's happening there?
He's told me to keep talking before to no one when it's just the two of us while he goes and gets his laundry from that. Like what am I going to keep
Wait, hold on.
saying?
You're acting like I'm constantly doing chores in the
Okay.
middle of the
Yeah, so
podcast.
let's call a 5. We call a 5. Like, T.O., remember this? T.O. Fuck, I don't even remember what I was talking
You were
about
saying
now.
what you learned about women.
You were
said
having
Oh
a
yeah, so
conversation.
you could listen. Here's the whole thing: women only want to be loved and protected, and loved. They want to be openly loved. You got to post, okay? You're not getting away without a wall post once in a while, okay? You got to show. They want it in public. They want public love. They want an ownership of some kind that they got somebody, okay? That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to be loved and protected. Okay. And they're simultaneous for them. Both make them feel each other. Okay. And for that, okay. And then you have one rule with that. You can't, nobody else. You just can't. You can't break that rule. And for that, if you accept the one rule, okay, they will take care of you forever. It's a pretty good deal. They will cook, they will clean naturally, whatever it is you want them, you have a really, maybe they work, whatever it is, but they will take care of you they will find the way to take care of you. A good, like, woman. I'm not bringing it back to like 50s, but like whatever it is, like that, that they make you feel safe. Mm-hmm. And that's it. The one rule is you can't do the other thing. You just can't, but they will take care of you for the rest of your life. So you have to be a grown-up and make that decision if you want to make that decision. It's not a decision for everyone. Some people don't want that. Some people, they get a thrill from whatever. I'm over a thrill, okay? If I want a thrill, I go to Six Flags. That's it. So...
You're
but
over a
some-
thrill. You're talking like you're an 80-year-old.
That's the way it is.
You
That's what
know
it
how many
feels
people
like.
say they're over the thrill, and then someday in their 50s, they
Sure,
they
okay,
get a
I might get
diagnosis.
into-
They go, I want a thrill.
Great. So
Sure.
we cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chas v'shalom, chas v'chayil, on the diagnosis.
Let's go to our next segment. Oh,
No.
This has got to stop.
I gotta get rid of these night terrors. That was the Tova night terror.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Tova has night terrors.
I don't know. I can't go with tights.
You tape this?
We have an app records all the night terrors.
Gianmarco.
Hey, Toa, what's wrong?
Oh, he's so cute.
Toa, what's wrong?
I can't go with Gianmarco. I can't go with.
What's wrong, sweetheart?
I can't go.
You're so nice.
Go.
So where? Sweetheart,
Just here.
you want to go to the airport?
Yeah.
Are you up with her?
Come back to bed. Yeah, but I don't remember it. That's why we recorded
Yeah.
it. You can go to the airport anytime you want.
No, but I can't.
He's such a good boyfriend. My God.
The time is 4:05 a.m.
So that it was we played this once on the podcast before, but I asked Alexa what time it was, and then she in her night terrors went shh because she didn't want me to find out what time it was, and it was 4:05 in the morning. But I got a bit out of it.
But you get up. You're not also night terroring. You're up, but you don't remember. You're half
I'm
sleeping.
up. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. You know, I pray, but sometimes I wake up, I'm like, God, why do I feel like shit? I slept for 7 hours. And it's like, no, you actually slept for 5. You were talking. You're trying to calm her down. It's always anxiety. She wakes up with some kind of anxiety.
Every night?
She
Some
nights
might
are
have
better than others.
PTSD. I have.
She was mugged. She was mugged at knife point. Not at knife
That's
point. That's part of my bit.
But
She
you
was
see,
mugged.
so
just in
she's got
general.
to take my sister's tip. Walk with a limp.
Yeah.
Something. She's got to get an umbrella. Something.
No, but Tova's ready to fight. Tova,
Yeah,
this
she
person,
fought back.
this person
She got
took her phone.
Yeah.
Tova chased after him, tackled him to the ground, got her phone back.
For a phone.
Which is the
Well, 'cause
opposite of what
she
I'd ever
said she
do.
was traveling the next day, like gonna go to the airport. She's like, I can't. I have to go on this trip. So like,
She's not backing down from a. I'm buying pepper spray for her, by the way, because some guy got on her face on the subway. I said, I need to get you pepper spray.
You didn't get it already?
I did. I got on my phone and
When
it
I
didn't.
moved
The order didn't go
out,
through.
my brother who served in the Israeli army, okay, he had limited options. He got back from the army. I moved out at 17. He goes, did you go see my guy at the army surplus store? I'm like, what? He's like, an Israeli guy. I'm like, what? He's like, go see my guy. I go to see the guy. The guy gives me pepper spray with a lesson. He's like, you drop. Okay, you do this, you drop. I'm like, what? I walk over with the pepper spray. I goes, my guy said you went to see him. I'm like, I went to see your crazy guy. But like, yeah, pepper, you got it.
Do you have it on you?
No, I don't have it anymore, and it expires.
Did you ever
apparently.
use it?
Never once, but many times I clutched it.
Did you ever test? Because I feel like I'd have to test it. You don't want to, you get it out.
No,
and then
I didn't test
the
it.
lock is
test
on.
it. It'll hurt.
I
you.
was
You test it like this.
no, because do you know how to do pepper spray? Everybody listening,
I don't. That's the whole problem.
I'm going to tell you.
Please.
Okay, because I learned from this guy at the army surplus store who, God knows what he was up to. Okay, giving women low key because it's like illegal in Montreal or something. So, you spray up, and you drop and crawl out, because it drops. You spray up into their face, up, but you better make sure you drop immediately. You have seconds because
That's
it
how-
falls
that's
down.
how-
Yeah,
oh, I
it's a
see.
mist. It's a, it's like
Yeah.
it's like perfume. If you
Yeah.
you spray and you walk in. It's like, so you spray up, you drop, and you crawl out, and then you run.
Why don't you spin, run the other way?
You can't. You got to drop. I don't know because it's such a big fume. No, it's such a big spray. It's massive. It's like a cloud. It really is like a cloud. It nobody.
Now, do you think even with this information that you have right now,
Yeah.
that if you had pepper spray and you sprayed someone, that you'd be like, I'm gonna drop.
I know. I
because
wouldn't.
that's what
I'm
you would
not
follow
saying you're
instinct
wrong.
and turn and run.
I would, but I'm
No,
saying
you duck. You don't have to fully You just duck out.
I don't trust my ability and my
No.
agility to duck. I feel like I would get slowed down.
These days, you do a dead drop being in
Yes.
Titanic for this long.
But I'm telling you that any girl you'll feel agile. We're already
Yeah.
we're head on a swivel type of people. A woman type of person is a head on a swivel person. At night we know how to walk with each other, just like, and I think men at this point, like, I don't want to hear men that are insulted. Like, if you see a girl walking, you can cross the street. Just get away from her. She doesn't want to be near you. Like, you can cross the street. You're scaring her.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to scare people? I don't scare people. Like, it's just, we cross the street because we can't take any risk. Sure, you're probably a nice guy. I don't have time to find that out.
Right.
That's a good point.
It's not
that
for
feels
me
like
to
the
find
gym
out.
thing right now. There's a lot of gym debate stuff where guys are like, I was just trying to help her at the gym, and she says I'm a creep, and it's like, well, yeah, because she doesn't have time to
she's-
decide.
Yeah.
Also, no one wants to be talked to at the gym.
At
no
the
one.
gym.
So it's
But then you meet someone. How do you meet your wife at the gym? I go, well, you know what? It worked once
I don't
in a
know
while.
those people. I don't know
Let
anyone.
the women come up to you.
Yeah.
But also the women lying I saw online about men looking at them. So women are
It's all
also
bad.
lying. Both are 100% true.
Anyone making TikToks of their own
Yeah.
life, you can't trust a single goddamn
Yeah.
thing they
No.
say. All right, this is our real segment.
This has got to stop.
This has got to stop.
Oh.
Do you have a thing that's got to stop? Something that's bothering you, something that's annoying you? Big, small, human, tipping, whatever.
I think motorcycles. I would say motorcycles are out. We see you. We vroom 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 fucking hear you. Like either be in a car or don't. What are we doing with motorcycles
Yeah,
now?
they don't feel like they're cool anymore.
No, not. And I will go. Not cool.
Yeah.
You can just be into leather now.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need this weird
Yeah,
vehicle.
you don't need the thing.
You don't need this
anymore.
Like you don't
Excuse.
need like
Yeah.
now leather holds its own.
Yeah,
You can just have a leather jacket
yeah.
now.
They don't feel like they are. They used to be cool.
That's what you
they used
wanted.
to feel cool.
Would you
Yeah.
ever drive a motorcycle?
No, absolutely
Oh,
not.
I think it would be fun. I'm too scared. I'm too terrified. My dad had a friend who died on a motorcycle when he was 19.
Of course, it's sheer. It's for what's a motorcycle helmet? You ever wear a motorcycle helmet? You ever put one on?
I've put one on, yeah. My dad's.
You're wearing a piece of a car. You know that it's a piece of a car over your head. That's what the motorcycle helmet
Sure.
is. It looks it's a car.
Okay. You should feel if you got on a plane and they said, "Hey, put on these little wings first," you'd be like, "Maybe this isn't a good plane."
Yeah, you're
Feels
wearing
like-
a piece of a car, and so what's the plan on that? That you're going to survive an accident with your head without your fucking body? Where's this going? That's why you need a car, which is like a helmet for your fucking body.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
why we did the car.
yeah.
Okay.
Jay Leno just got into a motorcycle accident too
Yeah.
after the fire accident.
No.
Yeah. Not. He's okay. He's alive.
Okay, he has to stop everything now. He's got to stop. That's my thing.
Jay
He
Leno.
has got to
Jay,
stop. Jay, you got to stop. You got into
stop
motorcycle.
fixing the cars. You
The
don't
cars
need it.
is
You
over.
have to pay someone to
The
fix
cars
the
is
cars.
over.
Jay.
I also don't like when people have too many cars. I don't think it's like one of those. It's one of those things where I get if you have money, again, do what you want. Who cares?
Yeah.
But it's weird. I think it's weird to like need all those cars.
At some
I
point, you
don't
got to
think-
get over the instinct to collect.
Yeah.
you're gonna collect all the cars. It's the same thing with the Pokemon that I,
I
did
also
with
know
Pokemon
that I'm
cards. It's
biased.
all the
I
same
don't
shit.
give a shit about cars.
I
Like,
hate cars.
I love
hate-
cars.
I
You
hate
love cars?
I
cars.
love cars. Would have 200 if I could.
Wow.
You have to get an eighth piece of property
I
just for all
love
your fucking
tactile
cars.
things. Well, you know what? I watched this documentary series. What's it called? Surviving Death on Netflix. Did you see this?
I'm not watching that shit.
Surviving Death. It's really cool. It's
Terrifying.
for the first time a real, and I don't know if for the first time, but maybe on television, a clinical look into near-death experiences, reincarnation, all these sort of things that nobody has taken a real scientific approach to. Because typically when you have an example of anything, even if anecdotal, somebody has a story, whatever, if you have enough examples of the same thing, science demands we look into it. We quantify it, we pull data from it, and we see what we can learn from it. So the big takeaway from all these episodes, and they have neurosurgeons on this and everything, and it's just a nice discussion, okay? Which is what I like from my television. But my big takeaway from all these things is that this world ends. It's ending, guys. Okay, and you heard me earlier. The world is over. Okay, that beeping is gonna fuck it. That should end. And so
For
just
those listening, there's
you
a beeping
should,
that you can't hear on the podcast.
you should know that you should try and value what you can as soon as you can. So family, friendship, like it doesn't matter, guys. Like just get to what's important as soon as you can because you know it ends, you know. But then my big takeaway with it was the only thing I know from all these episodes is that the material world ends. Some of the episodes suggested I could see my grandfather again and live in eternity with him. So if I can see Zadie again, Zadie, hold up, let me drive this Porsche while I can.
Yeah.
I can't get into him. He doesn't sound like I can have a Rolex. So let me have it now.
Yeah.
It made me more materialistic. It made me think,
There's a
okay.
problem with heaven.
Yeah.
It's like,
So the
well, let me enjoy it
spiritual
now.
You're like, well, yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get yours in heaven. Let's
Yeah.
So
just
it's
let
like,
me have the cars.
I can't. I like tactile. Let me feel. I do like things.
Yeah.
I like a physical world.
Yeah.
And you're telling me the physical disappears. So now I'm extra into physical.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
like
if that
the
was
wrong
It
a,
is
lesson from
stressful
heaven.
thinking of the physical world going away because then you're like, it's hard to imagine what you do, what you spend your time doing in eternity. then.
Now I just want
You're just kind of
things.
like floating next to people, like
Yeah,
you
you're
know.
doing relationships. You're having nice times. You're in clouds. You're on the beach.
Sure.
You don't need a car. You're on the
Yeah.
beach.
I remember once when I was young, I was looking through a plane window and I saw the clouds, and I thought about the traditional
Heaven.
view of heaven, and I was like, "So we just were there? We're just there?
It's
Or we're just
beautiful.
like, yes, beautiful." I look at a view for 10 seconds, and then I go, "Okay, now what?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I had an existential thought of like, "Oh, what if heaven's really boring?"
Well, yeah.
That's probably mostly old
Probably
people.
is, yeah.
You know. Like, you
A
know,
lot
that's
of
what it
old
is.
people in
Lot
heaven.
It's,
a
just,
lot
it's
of-
like a big, you know,
Someone
you
dies
think,
young, they're like,
Very
"Cool, hey."
homophobic and racist.
Yeah, yeah.
Heaven's
In
just
heaven-
full
Oh
of-
my god!
like with the most.
That would be you get to heaven and it's actually like really conservative there
It's
because
really.
it's all
They're also old.
Yeah, they're also old, and they rule society.
Yeah.
It's not the young are up and coming. The young
Yeah.
are always in low, like the
God's
the
just
lowest.
an old racist man.
Most people are old, and they're only getting older.
Yeah.
Our final segment.
You better count your blessings.
You better count your blessing. Russell, tell us the blessing.
Okay, so you know that it's something I love that I forget every time. I love, and once or twice a year, I will like find a band that has been famous for so long.
Oh,
And then I'm like, wow, has anyone heard of the Talking Heads?
Yes.
I mean, I've been in Talking Heads for years, but like that feeling of like when you get into a band that have been around, they're very famous, everyone knows about them, but you've just never really explored it and listened to it. I love that feeling. It's like one of the best things in the world when you get excited about something. You're like, oh, that's all these albums to listen to. Anyways, I had that happen this week.
I had that with Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
My friend Drew Johnson was sending me. I was like, you know what? I heard of them,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, they got a lot of good songs.
A lot of great things. Yeah, so I just love that feeling, you know, when you like,
great.
it's exciting to have new music to listen to that's not new, but you've just never listened to it. I love that.
Was it Talking Heads?
No, I've loved the Talking Heads for a long time, but this
Who's the
week,
band? Give a band.
9 Inch Nails, which is so funny.
I love them.
I had
Yeah.
no idea. Like, I think in my head, I associated it with a certain type of person
It's
I went
lame.
to middle school or high school with that was like kind of an intense kind of guy that like, but it's beautiful. Trent Reznor. It's yeah, loving it.
I love that.
Yeah.
My blessing. I think you have a shout out to Patrick Colbert opened for me at this casino, and he was a great opener, and a great driver, great opener, great filmer. So I always like to give a good opener a shout out. Bring Patrick on the road with you. I think the other blessing I did want to say is my mom. I'm trying to write this fucking TV show, and it has a lot of divorce stuff in it. And my mom, she's been like a really good resource for facts about. I said like what because in Maryland where when she got divorced you have to live under separate roofs for a year, and you're not allowed to have sex in that year before you can file for divorce. Which sounds like a crazy it's an illegal
insane.
book. It's insane. And in other states, you don't have to live separately, but you're allowed to put down a line down the middle of your home indicating that you're one
It's always
person.
like
you're one
feels
person
so
there.
Republican. They're like, we don't want government in our homes, and then they have rules like these.
That,
Well,
yeah.
all these rules, it just feels like it benefits whoever is bringing in the money. So I just imagine these rules came to be because the time where it just gave the man power. Like all these rules, I'm like, back in the day, this definitely was
I think
for
the
the
rule.
man's
No, I think it's
benefit.
it's to reconcile. I think the
Sure.
rule is get back together. What?
But that's
Yeah.
what's so
Wait,
weird about it is for
don't
the
be so
government to be like
rash.
the government
No, I
to be
know.
like, you two are so cute.
That's
Look at
crazy.
the pictures.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have sex one time. Just try it. But my mom immediately she was like, oh, there's a site called 123divorce.com, and it lists every state's rules about divorce.
Oh.
And she's been very. I pretty much told her this show is gonna be. It's about her and me, and she's been fine.
You know what would be fine to have the constituent of your father, okay, and start try and cast the girl she cheated with. That'll be cathartic for
Sure.
you. Meet them.
I don't know if they're old enough to legally work on a SAG production, but sure.
Yeah, they are.
Do
You
you-
got to get there. You'll get there.
I could get some
and,
of his.
and you'll realize that they're people, and then you'll give me a writing credit.
Sure, just for that.
Yeah, because I think that'll be when the show opens.
That's the show.
That's when the show opens.
just getting to
okay?
know my dad's.
Yeah,
getting
you get to know
other
them.
women.
What happened?
Oh, I meant to say that there's this picture that
You were
I
a
post.
cute boy.
There's this picture I post online sometimes, like during Father's Day, and it's like me as a little boy with my dad and this like stunning blonde woman. And it's just funny because I have no idea who she is, and it's just very indicative of part of my childhood. And my mom, she told me, she said, that's the woman your dad cheated on me with, and I've been like posting it online for years. And I was like, oh my God, Mom, I'm so sorry. I've been constantly just pushing this woman out there. I think she was like, she was like a babysitter or something.
Did you ever have? Do you have a relationship with your father now?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but not because of that. I found out about the cheating way later in life.
But did you ever talk to him about it?
I've talked to him. No, I have to an extent. He is a liar in the way that he just won't go into his transgressions that deeply. He just won't give you a lot of information. I've always wanted to be like, you cheated so much. There's so many women who left my life suddenly, and looking back on it, it was because they caught him cheating. And instead he painted it like, oh, they went crazy. Yeah. And I never brought that up because he's one of those guys, he can't admit fault, and I worry if I push it, that something in him will break.
But you're wanting him to admit fault. I want you to empathize with him. I want you to do on the other side that he's a person. He maybe made mistakes, but he maybe enjoyed a lot of what he did.
Oh, I'm sure he did. No, I empathize. I don't have judgment for these women.
But you have judgment for him.
What?
You have judgment for him.
I don't know if I have judgment for him. I have judgment about other things. The cheating, he's a guy. He was a good-looking guy. The empathy, the lack of empathy is the fact that he can't talk honestly.
No, I know, but he's maybe scared of you.
Sure.
He's scared. He doesn't want to tell you. He doesn't. He thinks you are judging him. If you could talk like a man with him,
I think it's tough. It's tough to talk to my dad.
Because he doesn't look at you like that. He doesn't think you understand.
Sure. By
the way, there's all complications. It might never get good. Like I saying things sometimes that I need to hear out loud. It's like I would talk to. This is my father, and I have no relationship, but I would talk. I would if I could talk to him if he was. He's very unstable now. If I could talk to him and it didn't escalate to something crazy, it'd be great to understand him as a human person.
Sure, I would say that about my dad.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you ever want to talk to your dad?
Not anymore because he's so sick. He's he's untreated diabetic, and so he's like really.
So that affects your
the type
mind.
that he has. Yeah, you could go blind and you go crazy for real.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it would ever affect your.
It does. Yeah. No, this diabetes. There's 3 different types of diabetes. I believe
3?
One is like weight related. And one is like only blood related, and it really fucks with you.
Wow.
Yeah. Like his is, you lose your sight. You start to go crazy from that. You go, man. Yeah.
Is he still here in New York, just in the community?
No. He lives in Nevada. It's a whole thing. He's really crazy.
Sure.
So, and potentially violent. My brother, he had a bad experience. So if he was like a safe person that I could talk to, and I wasn't at the physical risk, maybe if he could be lucid.
Yeah.
I would have but if you're, but sometimes we can't go there, and that's what keeps us the barriers between people. It's like we're not seeing each other as people. So it's like, you can't imagine ever cheating, and he cheat. It's like, so that's a barrier.
Sure.
It's like we used to say, it's like at the beginning of like, what happened to everybody's different. We're all going to make mistakes. They're going to be different mistakes, but you're going to make mistakes.
Sure.
Okay. And our differences are what bring us together. But now it's like the whole thing with labels that we see all over. It's like, it used to be, you know what, don't label me. Don't put me in a box. Lesbian, gay, queer. Like just now it's like, I'm demisexual. I'm specifically this to the, it's like the ways in which we're different is like so important to us instead of the ways that we are the same. So both are 100% right.
And do you have a blessing for us?
A blessing?
Something you're very specific, thankful for. It could be an item, a person, an act.
In my life or for you?
No, for you.
A blessing for myself.
So someone's saying, what are you thankful for? Something. He was thankful for finding a new band. I was thankful for my mom helping me with this thing.
Oh, and I turned that whole around, and I'm thankful for your mother as well, and the band, 9 Inch Nails. My God, what am I thankful for? I'm just thankful for my life. Like, I enjoy, I'm the kind of person, listen, I live in Los Angeles now for 5 years. I never get over a nice day. When I walk out in LA and it's a beautiful day, I go, it's a beautiful day. So I'm still like, the things I'm thankful for are so cliche and whatever. It's not a thing. It's just that I still get to do what I love to do for a living. It never gets old to me. It literally doesn't get old.
Well, good. That's a very nice blessing. This is coming out March 14th.
Nice.
Is there anything you'd like to plug?
I'm going to be all over. I'll be in Columbus, Ohio. I hope it's not near Palestine, Ohio. I'll be bringing my own water to Columbus, Ohio. I'll be in Ann Arbor. I will be in March. Around then, I'm going to be in New Orleans at Tulane.
Where are you performing at Tulane?
Yeah, Tulane.
Nice.
I don't know if non-Tulane can go there, but sometimes they can. So
Sure.
you can follow me for nudes on Instagram at Robby Hoffman and on Twitter at I am Robby Hoffman.
Russell, what would you like to plug?
Come see Titanic,
Oh.
the musical, off Broadway, 8 shows a week, Dale Roth Theater, and DM me at Russell J. Daniels if you want friends and family a little discount.
Debit Downside discount. By the way, we're going to have merch soon, guys. We're almost done with the store. So please keep following me online at Gianmarco Soresi. Join the Patreon, even if you don't want to listen to the bonus stuff. Just support the podcast. Patreon.com/downside. I will be headlining in Denver this Thursday, March 16th. Fort Collins, March 17th and 18th. And then the weekend after that, I'm in Houston for the Riot Comedy Festival. And most importantly, Russell will be joining for our first live recording in a comedy festival in Houston.
Yes, we will.
We will be, I believe it's at,
I think
it's at
off.
4 p.m. And Steph Tolev is our guest.
Oh my God!
Very excited to have her.
Yes.
But let me make a plea. Please come. Please, not just come, because I know most of you don't live in Houston. Tell your friends in Houston to come.
Yeah.
Because if Russell flies down for a live show and there's 4 people there,
If less than 5. Yeah.
it's going to be real tough on our friendship.
It is.
And Russell will act like Russell will be like, no, it's cool. And it'll hurt. It'll be tough to get him to leave New York for another live show ever again.
It will be very tough to lose the day of
please.
pay, and yeah.
He doesn't have the temperament. And can I just, a note on Steph Tolev, maybe the funniest comedian
So funny.
right now, easy. When I moved to Toronto, she was already fucking killing. Incredible. We lived together for a year and a half when I first moved to LA.
wow.
The loudest house in America. The loudest house in
Sure.
America.
What's a fun fact I can bring up in the podcast that she'll be surprised that I know that you know from living with her?
She's extremely neat and kind in real life. So it's not fun,
Yeah,
but I just know her.
neat.
Like we live together great because we're both very neat. We're actually not messy. We're just loud.
Yeah.
We're just loud.
Sure.
Yeah.
My girlfriend too. Neat and loud. Well,
It's ethnic.
What was that?
It's ethnic.
Is it really
I think so.
being neat?
Well, loud.
Sure. And for everyone listening, whether whatever your thoughts are on Israel and Palestine, just remember you're both right. This is the downside.
1, 2, 3. Downside. You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.